To build a profile of a potential international market and identify target markets, we will need to review market and market data and identify any trends or developments that may have an impact on the business activity or market under consideration. Trends and developments may be identified simply by looking for patterns in the data, such as increases in income over time. Qualitative data, such as information on culture, legislation, or technological trends, will also need to be considered. When looking for trends and developments, we should consider looking for data that has implications for our business. Therefore, we will need to identify trends in our target market by looking at data about events, economics, social or cultural factors, changes in technology, demographic trends, ecological, environmental trends, and government activities. Political events such as war, internal conflicts, or forthcoming elections may become evident from the research conducted and may influence the business activities within the market we are researching. For example, if a right-wing government is replaced by a left-wing government, there will be considerable policy changes that can impact all businesses. Typically, the left wing is characterized by an emphasis on ideas such as freedom, equality, fraternity, rights, progress, reform, and internationalism, while the right wing is characterized by an emphasis on notions such as authority, hierarchy, order, duty, tradition, reaction, and nationalism. In Brazil, Lula's left-wing government has pledged a major crackdown on Amazon crime, with deforestation reported to have broken all records in the first 6 months of 2022 under Bolsonaro's right-wing government. War or internal conflicts create unstable environments that may harm the success of the business activity planned for the chosen market. For example, the war in Ukraine caused food and fuel prices to soar globally as war and sanctions disrupted supplies from Russia and Ukraine. The two countries are major agriculture and energy exporters, together accounting for roughly a quarter of global wheat exports. Generally, in times of crisis, consumer behavior changes to a focus on security and basic living requirements such as essential food items, shelter, and health care. If our research has shown that there is a possibility of war or internal conflict in a region, then this information should be included within the market profile report so that it can be taken into account during the decision-making process. Economic trends refer to those factors that influence the money available for consumers to spend and the factors that influence how they spend it. This includes factors such as average income, unemployment data, gross national product, inflation, interest rates, and business cycles. These trends, both positive and negative, should be explored so that we can explain these trends and determine what impact they may have on the planned business activity in the target market. For example, if our data has identified long-term changes in the economic prosperity of the target market, perhaps their level of disposable income is increasing. We as a business can act on these findings by either expanding into the region or creating new products to cater to the market's changing consumer needs. Custom, cultural, and social factors identified in our research data could cover a broad range of areas. Customs of the country refer to the general rules of accepted behavior. Our data should include information about the impact of our proposed business activity on the target market to ensure the way we communicate will not offend the local market. Culture refers to the set of shared attitudes, values, goals, and practices that characterizes it as a group. It includes the collection of values, customs, traditions, religious beliefs, rituals, music, and basically all the things which make that group different or unique. Finally, social factors refer to the way in which the target market is organized. For example, we may need information about the roles of men and women within the family and society. When entering a new market, the differences in languages can alter the intended meaning of a promotional campaign. For example, when a Scandinavian company, Electrolux, wanted to promote their range of vacuums in America, they didn't consider the culture. Using the slogan "Nothing sucks like an Electrolux," customers were confused as to whether the company were being promoted or insulted. Unfortunately, the slogan was meant to refer to the strong suction of their vacuum cleaner. However, the word "sucks" in America is used to describe something which is bad. Access to and the speed of technology services are increasing globally. However, this is not the case in all countries or regions. Often, we find some industries are further ahead in terms of technology than others, which can further impact our business activities. For example, Iceland has the fastest internet in the world, followed by Liechtenstein, Andorra, Taiwan, and Luxembourg. If our business specialized in 4K streaming content or internet-based services that required high bandwidth, we would like to be in countries with the infrastructure that would best support it. At the same time, we should see if our data has identified any trends or developments linked to technology changes that are of relevance now or in the future for the planned business activity. For example, the UK is ranked in 27th place for internet speed. However, if our data shows increased government investment in this area, new opportunities can open up for our business. Hence, looking at technology trends is important. Demographics is a term that refers to the description of people and population, such as age, race, religion, income level, and demographic trends are used to contribute to our understanding of why people behave the way they do. For marketers, customer demographics can also assist in understanding buying behaviors and is a mechanism for the segmentation of the end user or customer. For example, people in different income brackets tend to buy different types of products and different qualities. Let's say our data shows the youth in Bangalore are becoming wealthier due to high-paying tech jobs, then we as a business should create products to meet their evolving needs. Environmental trends are incredibly important to look into in today's world as there is a global awareness of issues relating to sustainability, such as addressing global warming, the overuse of raw materials, and population control. Given the momentum these issues are gaining, it would be helpful to consider what the data we have collected is telling us, both about consumer attitudes to these issues and how they may affect our business activity. For example, a business can choose to work with environmentally conscious suppliers, contribute to protecting the environment, use products that use less energy, and look at initiatives that help to produce less waste, which can then be promoted to our customers, helping to position us as an environmentally conscious brand. In addition, local issues, such as drought and food shortages, also impact the environment. We need to analyze what our data may be telling us about these matters and consider whether the proposed business activity is going to contribute to any existing problems, make a difference, or have no effect. Another key factor to operating in any business market is to ensure we understand the government and legislation that regulates the particular market under consideration. Governments are responsible for setting the rules and frameworks in which all businesses must operate, and our research data should include information on the relevant government factors. These should include any trends and developments relating to taxation policies, establishment or expansion costs for the business activity, and details of any permits, bylaws, and levies that may apply. Our data may also highlight trends or developments in government spending that could relate to our business activity. For example, assume our workplace supplied textbooks to secondary school students and was considering expanding its services to one of our neighboring nations. If the current government in that nation was increasing investment in education, this could bode well for the possible business expansion.